Wait, did Remy Ma just press the red button on Claressa Shields' entire reputation? Or is this the most calculated lyrical chess move of 2026? Because what just dropped on the internet last night has fans screaming, timelines melting, and group chats working overtime. A diss track, not a subliminal, not a petty tweet, not a shady Instagram caption, a full-blown mic drop, head tap warning shot, and the lyrics. Oh, we're getting to those. Within minutes of release, hashtags exploded, boxing fans clashed with hip-hop loyalists, receipts started flying, old interviews resurfaced, and suddenly what looked like a simple rap beef started feeling like something way bigger. Something personal? Was this revenge? Was this a strategic promo? Or is there a behind-the-scenes fallout nobody saw coming? Because when Remy Ma says head tap, social media didn't hear a metaphor. They heard a message, and when Claressa Shields responded with that cryptic emoji post. Yeah, that wasn't random. So, what really sparked this? Who leaked the early snippet? And why are insiders whispering that this beef has been brewing for months? Buckle up because this just got messy. So, let's slow this down because this didn't just randomly happen. This is Remy Ma. We're talking about a woman who built her reputation on lyrical combat. A battle-tested veteran who survived prison, industry exile, and came back swinging like nothing ever happened. When she drops a diss track, it's not by accident. It's strategic. It's surgical. It's intentional. And then there's Claressa Shields, the undefeated boxing champion, the self-proclaimed GWT, the woman who dominates in the ring and doesn't exactly whisper outside of it either. She talks big. She moves big, and lately she's been stepping into hip-hop conversations like she owns a studio as much as she owns the ring. Two powerful personalities, two alpha energies, two brands built on dominance. So when Head Tap hit streaming platforms at midnight, insiders immediately asked the obvious question. Why no? Because let's be honest, this tension didn't start last week. It's been simmering. Fans started connecting dots for months back. That award show moment where cameras caught Remy Ma giving what looked like the iciest side eye in entertainment history while Claressa was mid-speech. That podcast interview where Claressa casually said, "Some rappers think they're fighters, but they wouldn't last 3 rounds." Was that random, or was that a subliminal? And remember that cryptic Instagram live where Remy said, "Don't confuse discipline with loud confidence." Some people perform toughness. At the time, nobody thought much of it. Now, it's looking really specific. And here's where it gets interesting. According to sources close to the studio session, and you know, we love an anonymous insider, Remy Ma had been sitting on this track for weeks. Weeks. Allegedly recorded in a private late-night session with only 2 engineers present, phones locked in pouches, NDAs signed, no leaks, but somehow a 12-second snippet slipped. And that snippet, that's what detonated everything because in that preview, you could clearly hear the line. Gloves off, head tap. This ain't the ring. No referee to clap back. Now tell me that's subtle. Tell me that's generic. No, that's targeted. Within hours, fan pages were dissecting every syllable like it was the Schroeder film. Boxing blogs picked it up. Hip-hop blogs amplified it. Even sports analysts started weighing in like they were breaking down a championship bout. And suddenly, it wasn't just a song. It was a cultural collision. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why would Remy Ma even go at Claressa Shields? On paper, they operate in different arenas. Versus boxing, studio versus stadium, mic versus mouthguard. But in 2026, arenas overlap, brands overlap, clout overlaps, and both of these women dominate headlines. Some speculate it started over industry alliances. There are whispers that Claressa had been spending time with certain figures connected to old tensions in Remy's circle. Others say it's about comments made behind closed doors. Comments questioning legacy, respect, and authenticity. And if there's one thing about Remy Ma, she doesn't let legacy talk slide. Especially not from someone outside hip-hop. Because hip-hop to veterans like her isn't cosplay. It's earned stripes. It's survival. Its credibility was carved out of real battles. So, when Claressa began teasing her own aspirations, posting studio clips, hinting at crossover tracks, tagging producers, some fans cheered, but others saw it as territory encroachment. And that's when the temperature started rising. Let's also not forget that both women are fiercely competitive, almost aggressively competitive. They don't just want success, they want dominance. They want to be the name, the headline, the narrative. So, when 2 dominant forces exist in the same cultural space, friction isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Now, here's where it gets juicier. Allegedly, and again, this is what the streets are whispering. There was a private event earlier this year. No cameras, no press, just industry insiders. At that event, things apparently got tense. An anonymous attendee claims there was a verbal exchange. Nothing physical, but enough edge in the air that security subtly repositioned. No footage exists, but the story spread like wildfire. And if that encounter really happened, Head Tap starts sounding less like a marketing stunt and more like unfinished business. But let's talk about the track itself, because this isn't some lazy, thrown-together freestyle. The production is dark, minimal, menacing, a slow, creeping beat that feels like it's stalking you down an alley. No flashy hooks. No radio-friendly sugar, just bars, calculated bars, lines referencing championship belts turning into costume jewelry, punchlines about shadow boxing with legends, wordplay that blurs the line between ring metaphors and industry politics. It's layered. And what makes it dangerous isn't just the aggression, it's the precision. Because if you listen closely, some of those lines don't just aim at boxing. They hint at finances, at endorsements, at behind-the-scenes drama. One lyric in particular has fans spiraling. Check your corner. Loyalty rented promoters love you till the number's dented. Now that's not random. That's surgical. Is she implying financial instability? Contract tension, sponsorship friction. Nobody knows for sure, but speculation, oh, it's everywhere. Meanwhile, Claressa Shields didn't immediately respond with a disc. She posted a single image, a boxing glove with the caption, "I don't duck smoke." That's it. No paragraphs, no rant, just that, and the internet lost its mind, because silence can be louder than 1,000 tweets. Now, here's the real twist. Some insiders claim this beef might not just be personal. It might be strategic because controversy sells, streams spike, engagement multiplies, and algorithms feast on chaos. But if this is a strategy, it's a risky one because both of these women have reputations built on authenticity if fans even smell manufactured drama. The backlash could be brutal. So, is this real tension or brilliant marketing wrapped in lyrical warfare? And that question, that's where things start getting even deeper. Because as we dug into the timeline, the studio dates, the social media subtweets, the sponsorship shifts, a pattern started forming. A pattern that suggests this might not just be about ego. It might be about power, about influence, about who controls the narrative when two titans refuse to bow. And if the rumors about what happened after the track went live, then what started as a disc song may have just triggered something much bigger than either of them expected. Because within 24 hours of Head Tap going viral, there were reports of emergency PR meetings, contract reviews, and one very unexpected phone call that nobody saw coming. And that's exactly where the story takes a sharp left turn. Because that unexpected phone call reportedly wasn't from a blogger. It wasn't from a fan. It wasn't even from another rapper looking to insert themselves into the drama. It was allegedly from a major sponsor. Yeah, that kind of call. According to industry whispers, within 24 hours of Head Tap trending, at least one brand associated with Claressa Shields requested an urgent clarification meeting. Not a cancellation, not a public statement, just clarification. Which in corporate language basically translates to what exactly is going on and are we about to be dragged into it? Because here's the thing about diss tracks in 2026. They don't just live in hip-hop anymore. They ripple into contracts, endorsement deals, media partnerships, and even insurance clauses. Especially when the lyrics start hinting at things that sound suspiciously like financial shade. Remember that line? Promoters love you till the number's dented. Fans didn't just tweet about it. They started digging. Old pay-per-view numbers resurfaced. Ticket sales from past fights were screenshotted. Interviews were rewatched frame by frame. One viral thread claimed that a certain fight underperformed projections. Another alleged tension between management teams months before this disc ever dropped. Are any of these claims verified? Of course not. But in the court of public opinion, evidence is optional. Narratives move faster than facts. Meanwhile, Remy wasn't exactly playing defense. Instead of clarifying anything, she doubled down. She posted a studio clip, dim lights, heavy bass rumbling in the background, and captioned it, "Round 2. Round 2. Now, let's pause there because that's not accidental wording when you're beefing with a boxing champion. That's psychological warfare. And if this were just lyrical sport, maybe it would have stayed contained. But things escalated when a so-called anonymous insider leaked what they claimed were internal emails between a fight promotion team discussing brand sensitivity concerns. The emails haven't been authenticated. They could be fake. They could be edited. They could be fanfiction with a Gmail account. But they spread widely. One line in the alleged email read, "We need to evaluate long-term optics if this becomes a sustained media narrative." Sustained media narrative. Translation: if this beef keeps trending, it could start affecting money. Now, here's where it gets messy in a different way. Because fans weren't just choosing sides, they were creating war zones online. Team Remy argued that hip-hop has always been competitive. Diss tracks are tradition. It's culture. It's a sport. If you step into the arena, musically or metaphorically, you'd better be ready. Team Claressa fired back, saying, "Boxing isn't rap Twitter. It's discipline. It's legacy. It's blood, sweat, and literal bruises." And dragging that into entertainment theatrics. Disrespectful. And then came the conspiracy theorist. Oh yes, They began suggesting this wasn't random tension at all, that this was a calculated crossover moment, a way to merge sports audiences with hip-hop audiences, a prelude to some hybrid event, a publicity stunt leading to something bigger, a podcast appearance, a pay-per-view face-off, a celebrity exhibition bout. Imagine the poster, head tap, the showdown. See how easy that rumor spreads? But if this is marketing genius, it's dangerously convincing because the reactions feel real. The tension feels sharp. The subtext feels personal, especially when another lyric from the track started circulating and slowed down. Enhanced audio clips felt like a champ, but the crown was too heavy pressure-cracked diamonds, let alone confetti. Now that line, fans interpreted it as questioning mental resilience, as implying that outside the ring the pressure hits differently. And that's when mental health advocates stepped in, warning against glamorizing psychological warfare. Yes, it got that layered. Suddenly, what started as bars became debates about respect, professionalism, crossover culture, and even gender dynamics in competitive industries. Because let's be honest, when two powerful women publicly clash, the scrutiny doubles. Every facial expression gets analyzed. Every silence gets interpreted. Every emoji becomes a thesis statement. Speaking of emojis, after days of silence, Claressa's shields went live. No flashy intro, no drama, just direct eye contact with the camera. She didn't say Ray's name, but she said this. I don't do performance toughness. I live mine. And if anybody got something to say, they know where I'm at. That's not a diss track. That's a location drop. The live ended in under 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes were clipped, reposted, memed, and remixed with a dramatic background. One edit even added boxing bell sound effects after every sentence. And then, because the internet never sleeps, someone dug up an old clip of Remy years ago praising Clarissa's championship win, smiling, applauding, calling her inspirational. Now the narrative had a betrayal angle. What changed? People asked. Was there a private fallout, a business disagreement, a personal misunderstanding that snowballed? Because praise turning into punchlines doesn't happen in a vacuum. Then came the so-called lavish spending allegations. A blog claimed that a recent luxury purchase, a high-end vehicle, he posted on social media was in poor taste given rumored financial tensions in the sports world. Again, no proof of any actual financial instability, but perception is powerful. Another outlet claimed there were internal disagreements within a promotional team about how aggressively to respond to the discs. Some wanted a musical rebuttal. Others advised silence. One anonymous quote allegedly stated, "Responding validates it. Ignoring it starves it." Strategic dilemma. But here's the twist. Streams for Head Tap kept climbing. Millions within days. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Some praised the lyricism. Others called it unnecessary. A few accused it of being too calculated to be authentic. And then just when it seemed like the storm might plateau, a rumored cease and desist letter entered the chat. Let me be clear, no official document has been publicly confirmed. But chatter began circulating that legal teams were reviewing whether certain lyrical references crossed into defamation territory. Now that changes the temperature because diss tracks live in metaphor. But if metaphors start being interpreted as factual allegations, lawyers wake up. And when lawyers wake up, things get expensive. Suddenly, entertainment blogs weren't just covering beef. They were speculating about legal exposure. Could lyrics implying financial instability be considered damaging? Could vague references to management issues be actionable? Or is it all protected under artistic expression? Nobody knows. But the possibility alone added gasoline to an already blazing narrative. And while fans argued, while bloggers speculated, while alleged emails circulated, behind closed doors, something else was reportedly happening. Because if sources are to be believed, there were quiet conversations about mediation, not public reconciliation, not apologies, just conversations. And if that's true, it suggests this beef might be teetering on a line neither side fully anticipated crossing. Because at some point, viral moments stop being fun, they start affecting careers. And that's the moment when bravado meets consequence. But just when it seemed like cooler heads might intervene, a new development dropped that nobody, and I mean nobody saw coming, a new development dropped that nobody, and I mean nobody saw coming. Because just as rumors of mediation started floating around, a second version of Head Tap quietly appeared online. Not officially uploaded, not promoted, just leaked. An extended cut. And in that extended cut, 2 additional verses. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. The authenticity of this version has not been confirmed. It could be a fan edit. It could be AI enhanced. It could be a rough draft that slipped through the cracks, but the internet treated it like gospel. And those extra bars are way more pointed, way less metaphorical. One line allegedly referenced endorsement clauses shaking when the truth gets loud. Another hinted at belts and branding being 2 different fights. Suddenly, the tone shifted from competitive to potentially combustible. Because here's the thing about lyrical warfare. Once it crosses from clever wordplay into territory that can be interpreted as factual implication, the legal temperature spikes. Within hours of that leak, legal commentators, yes, actual entertainment attorneys on TikTok began breaking down what could and couldn't be considered defamation in a diss track. One lawyer said, if it's clearly artistic expression, it's protected. Another warned, if specific financial claims can be inferred and proven false, that's when it gets risky. Risky. That word started trending alongside the song title. Meanwhile, Claressa Shields made another move, and this one was strategic. She posted training footage. No captions about beef. No direct responses. Just intense gym work. Heavy bag. Focus stare. Sweat discipline. The message. I'm not distracted. But fans weren't buying the silence as calm. They were reading it as tension. Because behind the scenes, reports started surfacing about potential sponsor reevaluations, not cancellations, not terminations, but reevaluations, which in corporate speak means, let's see how this plays out before we commit further. And that's where financial pressure creeps in. Not from guilt, not from wrongdoing, from optics. Brands hate unpredictability and viral beef. That's unpredictable. On the other side, Remy Ma's streaming numbers were climbing. Interviews were being requested, podcasts were calling, reaction channels were analyzing rhyme schemes like forensic scientists. Controversy was converting into clicks. But here's the dilemma. Short-term virality doesn't always equal long-term stability because when narratives escalate beyond, they start shaping public perception in ways you can't fully control. And that's exactly what began happening. Hashtags like #HeadAppChallenge started trending. Fans are shadowboxing to the track. Others created parody skits reenacting imaginary confrontations. Memes exploded. But alongside the humor came serious debates. Should athletes and artists publicly clash like this? Does crossover culture strengthen or dilute legacy? Is this empowerment or ego collision? Then came the political angle. Yes, somehow politics entered the chat. A commentator on a sports network suggested that public beef between two high-profile black women could be exploited by media narratives that thrive on division. That comment alone triggered another wave of discourse. Now, the conversation wasn't just about bars. It was about representation, responsibility, influence, and whether this entire saga was empowering rivalry or unnecessary spectacle. Behind the curtain, alleged sources claimed there were quiet discussions about a potential joint appearance to clear the air. Not a boxing match, not a rap battle, a moderated conversation. But pride complicates peace. Because when two dominant figures build brands on strength, backing down can look like weakness, even when it's wisdom. Then came the most unexpected rumor of all. A supposed pay-per-view network executive was overheard at an industry event joking about a celebrity crossover exhibition. Within hours, blogs were reporting that negotiations were in early exploratory phases. Again, no confirmation, but the idea alone is explosive. Imagine the spectacle. Meets boxing. Lyrics meet gloves. Culture meets combat. Would it be sport? Would it be entertainment? Would it be chaos? And that's the line this entire saga keeps dancing on. Because while nothing physical has occurred, the narrative itself has become a spectacle. Now, let's talk consequences. If legal teams truly are reviewing lyrics, even informally, that means money is being spent. Consultations aren't free. Risk assessments aren't casual. If sponsors are reassessing optics, that means brand strategists are calculating exposure. If PR teams are holding emergency meetings and multiple outlets claim they are, that means this isn't being treated as just a song. And yet, neither woman has publicly shown fear. No apologies, no walkbacks, just posture. Strength meeting strength. But here's the reality. In the entertainment economy, perception compounds. If this cools down, both walk away with heightened visibility. If it escalates legally, it shifts from cultural moment to courtroom headline. And courtroom headlines don't trend the same way. They linger. So, where does this go next? Does Claressa Shields drop a track of her own? She's teased before. Imagine the shockwave if she responded in Ray's arena instead of her own. Does Remy Ma release an official extended version confirming or denying the leak? Or does silence become the final move, letting speculation exhaust itself? Right now, the tension sits in that fragile space between performance and permanence, between entertainment and consequence. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most fascinating part of all because what started as a diss track has evolved into a cultural chess match. No referee, no clear rounds, just narrative swings. And whether this ends in reconciliation, rivalry, or something completely unexpected, one thing is undeniable. DISS didn't just go viral. It cracked open a conversation about power, ego, branding, and what happens when two forces refuse to bow. And the world, it's still watching. So, let's be real for a second. Did Remy Ma just deliver the most strategic diss of the year? Or did she light a match that could burn way bigger than she planned? And what about Claressa Shields? Is that silent strength? Or is she calculating the perfect counterpunch? Because this isn't just about a song anymore. It's about legacy. It's about dominance. It's about what happens when two headline makers collide in a culture that feeds on competition. We've seen rap beefs before. We've seen sports rivalries before, but when hip-hop energy clashes with championship mentality, that's a different level of pressure. So, I need to know what you think. Was Head App the lyrical masterpiece, or was it unnecessary smoke? Did those bars cross a line? Or is this just how competitive icons talk when they're protecting their throne? And here's the bigger question. If this escalates, are we heading toward a diss track response, a public sit-down, a crossover spectacle nobody expected, or does this fizzle out into one of those remember when viral moments? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Team Remy or Team Claressa, but keep it respectful. We're breaking down narratives, not starting real-life fight night in the comments section. If you made it this far, you already know we don't just report headlines, we dissect them. So, hit that like button if you want more deep dives into the drama behind the drama. Subscribe if you're ready for the next twist, because trust me, in stories like this, there's always another layer. And turn on notifications because if a response track drops, if a statement gets released, if a surprise move shakes the timeline, you already know we're covering it. Until next time, stay loud, stay curious, and keep your head on a swivel because in this game there's always another head tap.